The midterms officially start today. Can you believe that already? Voters are at the ballot box in Texas right now, voting in primaries for governor, attorney general, congressional seats, so much more. Texas Governor Greg Abbott facing challengers, too, from the far right, but he is expected to win the Republican nomination, likely facing former congressman and presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke on the Democratic side. ABC News, Maria Villarreal joining us now from Texas once again with more. Tell us about, you've got one of the top minds, I understand, in Texas politics there with you to talk about these races that you are both paying close attention to.
I do, Kira. Next to me is Tom Abrams, doing this a very long time. I told him I wouldn't say how long, but let's just say seasoned journalist covering politics in Texas. First and foremost, Tom, let's talk a little bit about what this room will transition to. We're in the newsroom of KTRK. What will this look like in a few hours?
Sure. We'll be using every space in this newsroom.
I agree.
Here, this digital area there, you can see that large monitor back there. We'll be doing panel interviews with local experts and insiders to gain their perspective. Every element of the newsroom and in the studio we'll be using for our team of reporters and producers who are working to make sure that, we give everybody all of the angles on what is an important night here in Texas, even though the rest of the country may be paying attention to the State of the Union.
Well, so State of the Union is tonight, but obviously some big Texas races happening. What are the ones that might have national implications?
I think the two biggest ones that people will be paying attention to nationally, the Attorney General's race on the Republican side, Ken Paxton, his legal troubles. He's drawn fierce opposition from within his own party. Two people who currently hold office, George P. Bush, the state land commissioner of the Bush family, as well as Representative Louis Gohmert, and then a former Supreme Court Justice from the state of Texas, Eva Guzman, all three of them campaigning to get him into a runoff and then beat him. I think there's a lot of interest there because of Paxton's legal issues and because of how much he's reached out to President Trump. Three of the four people actively sought the former president's endorsement in this race. There's also House District 28, which stretches from San Antonio to Laredo to McAllen, and that's longtime Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar. He is anti-abortion. He is the only Democrat that is such, and so he's facing a pretty strong opposition and challenge from Jessica Cisneros, who is more on the progressive part of the Democratic Party.
And you said the key words that piqued my interest, which was the former president's endorsement. How much of an impact could the Trump factor be, not just here, but around the country as we start to see other elections happen? Sure.
So Texas is the first primary this season by more than 2 months. And so a lot of people will look to this to see where is the Republican Party heading into November. President Trump has endorsed at least 20 Texas Republicans, a lot of them actively seeking and then promoting his endorsement, among them Paxton, among them Governor Greg Abbott, who has two primary challengers who are coming at him from the right, who say he's not a real or conservative enough Republican. And so I think the Trump factor is in fact legitimate here in Texas. He still holds sway over the Republican Party.
And last but certainly not least, what are the issues that we will be talking about that are actually bringing people to the polls right now, especially in a conservative state like Texas?
I think on the right, a big issue, and it's what the governor and a lot of the attorney general candidates are campaigning on, and that is the border security, election security. The wall. Those are all big things that they're talking about on the right. On the left, it seems to be the grid and voter rights. Those seem to be big issues, and women's rights. There are restrictive laws now here in Texas that effectively ban abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy, and so I think that's another issue that will drive Democrats to the polls.
Fairly restrictive voting rights laws that were passed last season obviously look like they're already having an impact here in Texas. What are some of the numbers that you are seeing Harris County-wise?
Sure. Here in Harris County, the largest county in Texas that incorporates Houston, we know that as of yesterday, of the mail-in ballots, that some 29% of the mail-in ballots counted through yesterday are getting rejected. And that's because of the new law in which you have to put one of the forms of ID that you use to register to vote, either the last four of your social or your driver's license, and then sign it. That's under the flap of the envelope in which you mail back your mail-in ballot. And so because that's new, people aren't doing it. And so a direct result of that is that some 29% of those who mail back their ballots, they don't count yet.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tom, for joining us. Again, we will have a lot going on tonight here in Houston. State of the Union coverage with our focus group. Kira, back to you.
All right, we'll follow it straight from Houston, Texas with you. Mireya, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.